to them with their new game and be like, hey, we'll pay you like hundreds of thousands of dollars
Apex
to play
Legends.
this game. Yeah, to play like Apex Legends for
on that day. So there were people who on the 4th of July just sat home, they watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Can you remember live TV? You got your first episode series,
Basically, casualties of war.
Yeah, and if what's basically happening is like, if they build nuclear weapons, that threatens us.
Yeah.
So
that you're talking about being this idol.
Yeah.
Like I'll hit you with two different ends of the spectrum.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We actually made it, episode 11. Here
Episode
we
11,
are.
right. Yes, sir.
We
We're almost
did.
3 months in.
Almost 3 months in. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Like, can you believe it? Look how much we've grown.
I know.
Jared's hair is down to his back.
I'm at least an inch taller.
At least an inch taller. I'm here. It's good times.
Yeah.
So. Ladies and gentlemen, give your guys a round of applause. You made it with us. You made it past
Absolutely.
the
Thank you guys.
10 milestone, and here we are. So today, I'm gonna forego the rules because it's like by now you guys should know.
Yeah, and we just went over it last episode.
This last episode, and it seems like that was just a few minutes ago. But so I'm your host today. I am GaVinci Raw, aka Eli. I am here with my co-host Jared Mannche.
Jared Mannche in the flesh.
And our permanent guest, one of our good friends, your friend, we're all our friends, Mr. Alex Busta.
What's up, everybody?
Hey. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah.
So since
might
we
as well, just start it off.
yeah, let's make this happen. So you guys ready for the first topic?
Lay it on me.
Hit me,
Alright.
buddy.
All right, you guys ready for this? Celebrity idol worshiping. How do you guys
Okay.
feel about that? So let's begin. 10 minutes starts now.
Like, give me like more of a definition.
So you have your celebrities, and then you have your like mega celebrities where people go nuts and start crying and flipping out like, oh my God, this is the greatest ever. And it's just like, why? They're just regular people in reality. Like that type of scenario.
Okay. So I feel like it's a lot of that just rests on the quality of the celebrity that you're talking about being this idol. Like I'll hit you with two different ends of the spectrum. Will Smith, probably, in my opinion, from what I've seen with the way that he treats his wife, how he is with his family, how he is with the people he works with, other things like that. Obviously, me and Will Smith are not homies. I don't have his phone number or anything like that. But from
Secretly, Alex has his number. Shh, don't tell nobody.
But I mean, from every single thing that I've seen about him, I can't imagine him being any less than an absolutely wonderful person.
Like he looks like he'd be just a cool ass guy to talk to. He
Yeah.
doesn't look like a dick at all.
The quality of his personality is very high. It's great. Whereas, I would be more than happy if I had kids and they idolized Will Smith. I'm like, well, he's living a good life. He's treating people right. This is a good idol for my child. Then on the other end of the spectrum, look at Nicki Minaj. Yeah. Let's talk about the one line that. So I listened to Anaconda once. A time. I wanted to break my computer. There's a line in that song where she says, I let him hit it because he slings cocaine.
Yeah.
Do you want your kid listening to that?
Why not?
You want your
mean-
kid idolizing that? Well, then, Jared, I will find you a place to go get a vasectomy immediately.
You got to shoot for the stars.
These people being celebrities, we idolize them because they create things for us, or a part of art, or make music, make entertainment media, TV shows, movies, things
Yeah.
like that. But I think that they have a responsibility as human beings to understand that people are going to, you do have a spotlight on you, so people are going to notice what you're doing, and they're going to, especially if they're younger and impressionable, they're going to pick up on that and try and run with it. And so you have this responsibility, if you want to be a good person, to put your best foot forward and to show people that, like, oh, well, if you want to idolize me, maybe idolize me for the way that I respect other people, the stance that I have on these issues, or how I feel everybody deserves to be treated, or things like that, rather than just being, a bag of crap and saying, like, well, they're gonna like me for whatever I do, so why don't I just be shitty?
Well, to play devil's advocate, I don't necessarily feel like it's their job to, like, for people who idolize them to really do anything, because in reality they're just regular people who have this job that puts them in the limelight, but they don't really need to be like, I need to be the best person ever, or be like, I need to be the most charitable, or this, especially like the people, but then it makes you think that those are the people who purposely put their lives private. They don't put nothing public. They're just very private. They just go out, shoot a movie, let's say, or do a song or whatever, and then that's it. You don't know nothing about their private life. All you know is just this one specific image that they have, and then that's it. It goes away.
Well, one of the two great examples of that is the EDM artists Marshmello and Daft Punk. Okay, both of them are, Daft Punk is two people and Marshmello is one person. They're both EDM artists, and they both have helmets, or all three of them have helmets that they wear like masks when they're performing. Literally not a single person knows what they look like.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Like, I could not even give you Marshmallow's white, like, that's it, because you see his hands, but he could have that, what's that disease where, like, you're ethnic and your skin turns white?
Vitiligo.
Yeah, you could have that. So I, like, literally you don't know, and I don't know what race Daft Punk is, but they have
because they wear gloves and everything.
Yeah, because they're, like, fully covered, but you have no idea what they are. You just like them for
their music and their craft,
and what they do. But then as soon as they're done, if they walk out into the grocery store, they don't need bodyguards, they don't need security, they can just live like a normal, average, everyday life, and nobody would even recognize them. Nobody's gonna rush them. Paparazzi's not gonna be on them. So
it's a pretty smart move.
It's a pretty smart move,
because you could be a regular person still, and
absolutely,
and you still enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah,
so it's like a win-win.
Like, let's say, I'm sure they drive, nice cars.
Sure.
So, but it's like,
you never know. I've seen darn it, I forget the artist's name, but he drives like a regular old Toyota. He doesn't care. He just
man, who is that? I don't.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
And it's just like,
but yeah, they drive just like, or say they drive
just
like
regular
a normal
guy.
car.
Yeah.
But even if they do drive a nice car, like, let's say, they're driving around in a Ferrari or something like that, and then they pull up to the grocery store, and that people are going to be like, oh, he makes good money. Maybe he's a
doctor.
Maybe he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a businessman,
lawyer,
or a retailer, or something like, literally just
a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, a YouTuber. But maybe he makes good money that way. But nobody's gonna think that there's this huge, world-known music artist. So I think that's a very good move, and people should be like, hey, I would love to do that, but I don't want to be.
The problem with the acting behalf, though, is because if you're an actor, you can't cover up your face.
That's true.
So, like,
that's true. So,
but I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that's brilliant, because then it gives you anonymity, and you still reap the benefits of just being a normal person, and you reap the benefits of your craft.
Exactly.
And people love you for your craft, not for you.
Exactly.
Because then they have nothing to associate with it, more or less.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I don't really see anything wrong with idolizing people. I think everybody looks up to somebody in their lives.
in some shape or form.
Yeah, in one way or another. So I don't see anything wrong with that. You just have to
pick and choose which.
Yeah, you just like, like in the last episode, I said I listened to Post Malone. Mm-hmm. So like I really like, what he does with music, but I don't really know much about him aside from that, what he does outside of his life or what he supports or something like that. So I'm not going to put him on a pedestal. Like
right, and that kind of brings that into light too, which is that not necessarily people who do idolize these celebrities are idolizing their all-encompassing personality. They might have a trait that they are really fond of, and will look to that. But
because I agree with you, Alex. Like one of the biggest themes why I brought this up is because most often than not, is you see the people on Instagram, your Twitter, your World Star, shout out World Star, they are super blown up because they're supposed to be rappers, but they don't even rap or do music. It's because they went into Foot Locker and sold some shoes and then said some wild shit while they were running out. Mm-hmm. Or this one who got into a fist fight, and then started saying, "Oh, I beat him up, I did this and that," and now they're getting some clout for it. Or this one who did this wild and crazy thing, and now look at them. Now they have millions of followers, and now people idolize them and love them. And it's like, why? They acted a fool. Mm-hmm. Why are these people being idolized?
Just kind of a tangent, kind
Shock
of close
value.
to what you were saying in the idolizing. What do you guys think about like influencers, people on Instagram who, that is their job, is to put their life online so that people can watch it and
this may
revere them.
May help you in.
Well, yeah, I think influencers, like, they have a big role to play. They have a lot of responsibility, because one thing that's very big right now is streaming on Twitch. Yeah. And big streamers make a lot of money, like a lot of money. So people will, and companies will come to them with their new game and be like, "Hey, we'll pay you like hundreds of thousands of dollars to play this game." Yeah, to play like Apex Legends for a few hours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was 10 minutes. Would you like to use your 5?
No, I'm good.
Nope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first topic, idolization of celebrities. So it goes to Mannche. You are up.
All right. So my topic for today is going to be on nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons. Nice. I don't think that's been discussed on the show, or even kinda discussed on the show. So nuclear weapons. All right, 10 minutes begins now. So what's your definition of why?
All right.
Bad, good.
So the reason I bring this up is because recently Iran has said that
basically
has come out saying that they will not follow the US's treaty of not producing nuclear weapons. And that's kind of dangerous, because like you look at Iran's history, it's not the best. And it's like, well, do we really want them to have nuclear weapons? And so, but then it's like, well, why do we have nuclear weapons? Or why does Russia have nuclear weapons? Or why does the UK have nuclear weapons? And it's like, should everybody have them? Or
nobody.
Should nobody have them?
Yeah. Nobody. I mean, if we're given a choice, like if I could snap my fingers and make either one of those happen, nobody.
And then aliens show up and conquer us. No.
Yeah. So it's I only bring this up because it's like so Iran's not allowed to build nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that's part of the treaty.
That's part of the treaty. That's why we're not at war with them anymore. But we're supposed to send like I think 1,000 more soldiers over to Iran to deal with this. And it's like, so are we really going to get into another war
over something?
Over this?
Yeah.
And
where it's like the big kid in the playground, it's dictating what the little kid can't do.
So it's like,
Yeah, but the little kid wants to bring a knife to school.
True.
So
Exactly.
And it's a pretty nice knife too.
So is it our job is it the US's job as a world superpower to oversee those smaller, more dangerous countries and kind of regulate them to a certain extent if it threatens us?
Nope. That is the job of the United Nations, who we piss off repeatedly.
That's true.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
The UN hates us.
The United States of America is not. We are not meant to police the world.
We're not.
We're really not.
We're only supposed to police ourselves.
Right.
Literally.
We are a superpower. But with that comes, the need for restraint and responsibility when it comes to diplomatic interactions with other countries. The UN is a world recognized and established
collective
of people from all different countries who are dealing with issues, concerns, problems on a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
War between any two countries, especially one that is a superpower, I definitely feel would be considered to be on a global scale as far as what it would impact. So we are, if we do that, we are being the person who
dictates.
We're being the person who tries to take matters into their own hands instead of, going through the legal system, calling the police. We're becoming that. We're skipping a step and not going to the right place where we need to in order to be able to get this done the right way.
Which makes sense why other countries would get so frustrated and annoyed with America for doing that. It's like, well, you're not supposed. We're following the rules, but you're not. Like, why should we allow this to even happen? How about we intersect you guys and say, no, don't bully them. It's none of your business. Leave them alone. And then it causes a conflict now where it's like, now what? Told us what to do? Now we have a problem.
Okay. So, but we also already have a treaty with Iran. And they're breaking it.
They're breaking it.
And that's not a contract between
the UN
and the US and Iran. It's not a three-way thing, or any other countries are joined in on this.
Mm-hmm.
This is Iran and the US. And it's like a an employer, okay?
Yes.
Like a business, like I'm gonna shrink this down, okay? So it's like a business with an employee, and they have like contracts together where it's like, okay, I will pay you this money to work this job.
Yeah, to do this type of job.
Yeah. And if I don't do that job, then they will fire me. So if they're not doing
what they're supposed to be
doing, then we need to either fix the problem or because I don't know, I guess that analogy really doesn't work because we can't just like fire the country. We can't be like, all right, bye Iran, leave the earth, like
good luck.
Fly away.
Yeah,
fly away into space. Because the problem is that Iran is a dangerous country. It's ran by dangerous people and has a lot of dangerous people in it, and we don't get along with them very well. So, and they don't like us at all.
And it's hard because then you have all the good people there in the middle who are becoming basically casualties of war.
Yeah, and if what's basically happening is like, if they build nuclear weapons, that threatens us.
Yeah.
So if they fire a nuclear weapon at us and we don't see it in time, there's millions of people dead. And, look at Japan. Japan's cities are still suffering from radiation.
Hiroshima
and Nagasaki. They're still suffering from radiation from the bombs that we put on them. So imagine that happening in our own country. And so then it's like, okay, so how do we deal with this? And it's like, well, we should put a stop to it before it even becomes a problem. So, what do we do?
It's still a good question. I would still say if this was my call put on the table, I would still say that I would probably want to go through the UN. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why, a big reason why, is because it's the proper progression of that. That's one of the things that the UN was put in place to deter is, countries breaking treaties, foreign wars being started, things like that. I think a lot of people would say, oh, well, we don't want to go through the UN because what are they going to tell us what to do? They're a hindrance. They're going to get in our way. But it's like, but what's our plan on what we're doing? What way would they get into right now? We're not even sure what exactly we're going to do about that. It's a good possibility that if we had support of the UN in stopping this, which more than likely I'm guessing we would, since the other country in doing these things is effectively breaking their word, breaking the law of the treaty. Mm-hmm. Then it would be so much more effective, because what do you want to fight a nation with the world on your side, or do you want to fight a nation one-on-one?
Okay.
And if it does come down to that, the UN decides a lot of things that go on in the world. We don't need to do something rash in any other part of the world to where the UN looks and goes, whoa, we got to keep our eyes on these people now.
Okay, so what if we already have the UN support? Like, this is hypothetical. I obviously do not know. But what if the UN already had, or we already went there and they were like, okay, you can send X amount of troops over and deal with this?
Then it would be just more or less just go to war then. And
or what if we, on the flip side, we tried to go through the UN and then they were like, no, we'll just see how it plays out. And then the US was like, I don't know about that one.
Then it's going against the collective, and I'm sure that there is some type of like martial laws or things of that nature that's like trying to kind of like preventive to not go against it, because I get that the treaty that was established was an American treaty set onto the to the country. So I mean, that's probably the reason why they're like, F it, I'm going to whatever, it's their treaty, not mine. Kind of like just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Would you guys like to use your 5?
I'm good.
Nah, I'm good.
All right, I'm good too. So how do you guys feel about that?
That's a tough one.
That is a real thing that's going on in the world right now. We'd really appreciate you guys to like, comment, subscribe, turn on a little notification bell, and without a doubt, seriously, to tell us what you guys feel about it. Do you guys feel we are going to go to war? Have we basically fought a war that's gone on for too long? Do you feel this is just a wild goose chase? This is going on for too long? Let us know. We would love to hear your thoughts. So that was Mannche's topic. Yeah, nuclear topic. Wow, nuclear topic. Yeah, that was a bomb without a doubt. So now we're to Mr. Alex Busta. So what would you like to discuss today?
I think today I want to talk about digital streaming services, and do we feel that we are currently seeing the death of some of the older media outlets as we know it?
That's a good one. All right, so 10 minutes starts now. Digital streaming services.
So a couple of things I'm talking about, not just things like Hulu, Netflix, Sling, which are starting to take over where live TV has left off. Now with Hulu, you can even buy a package where you just get live TV through Hulu.
And it's cheaper too.
Absolutely. But even things like like digital news articles or news segments being covered or released on online outlets, like NewYorkTimes.com versus going to pick up a newspaper.
Yeah.
When's the last time you held a newspaper in your hands?
Oh God.
2 days ago in my mailbox. Because it gets just delivered to my apartment.
But he means
I tossed it.
But he means in the sense of like you intentionally went to like grab a newspaper to touch yourself. Like you intentionally wanted a newspaper.
I did not touch myself with the newspaper.
You gotta.
They're usually dirty.
They're usually pretty dirty.
Pretty damn dirty.
No, the only time I ever pick up a newspaper is when I'm on vacation with no internet, and I grab a newspaper because I want to play the Sudoku on there or the word scramble, or I play like those little games in it. That's about it.
Read the comic strips.
Yeah, read the comic strips.
So we've got things like Hulu and Netflix, and now been seeing ads on those for a while, which is interesting because it means that even companies that advertise are not relegating all of their revenue towards purchasing airtime on actual television stations or things like that. So do you guys think that the way that we're pushing forward with this now, how do you think that eventually, your satellite TV or whatever is going to become a thing of the past?
Yes. I also think that radio is going to die here pretty soon too, because I can't even tell you the last time I listened to the radio intentionally, because all I do is I just plug in my phone or connect it to Bluetooth, and I'll hit Pandora, or I'll hit Spotify or SoundCloud, Apple Music, whatever I need to do, and I have playlists already set up, or that's why I have Pandora, because I'll put on a station, and there's my music right there.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the radio. I don't need to hear talk or this is kind of self-deprecating, but I don't need to hear any of the talk shows on the radio or anything like that. I mean, but I love the ones on YouTube.
Absolutely.
The podcasts on YouTube.
The podcasts on YouTube are the best.
Yeah, but not the ones on the radio. Those
especially ones with numbers.
Exactly. And couches.
Especially.
And the ones that we talk.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best.
Those are the best.
So, but I don't know. I just whenever I want to listen to music, I don't turn on the radio like I used to. I just plug in my phone, and I just pick whatever song I want to listen to, and then run with that.
Yeah, because I mean, me and Alex more so. I still remember when you had to go buy an album or a CD, and there was times where you're like, especially when you're a young kid, you're like, man, I don't have enough money for food, or you have enough money for this. But this new album just released. Should I go get that? I have just enough for that. And there was times where you had to make that hard decision of listen to this incredible album for X amount of months, or just go buy yourself a sandwich or something like that. That's what Ellie Reed said, that you got to make such a good album that the person who's buying it has to choose whether or not they're going to eat for the day or buy that album. And he said that's how good your album has to be, that they would refuse to pay to eat, to actually just purchase your album just to hear it.
Yeah.
That sounds like an economic problem.
It does kind of sound like an economic problem.
Another thing that my wife and I were talking about this morning when I was kind of honing my topic is, what do you guys think about the home life change of that? Do you remember, let's say, Stranger Things? Stranger Things came out with the new season on 4th of July. Now, it's kind of a crappy thing because that we get such instant gratification. They released that whole season on that day. So there were people who on the 4th of July just sat home, they watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Can you remember live TV, you got your first episode season premiere on this channel at this time, and you watched it and you fell in love with it, and then you had to wait another week. Yeah, but it was an event.
Yeah,
it was an event. You would have some people over, or maybe you'd go over to someone else's house. You'd have a little potluck. You'd turn it into a night.
Yeah, just like football games.
Yeah,
exactly. And that with things like Hulu and Netflix, you don't necessarily see that happen because we get the instant gratification of having everything at our fingertips automatically, and so we don't, I don't know, maybe don't have the willpower to wait and spread out those episodes, even though you could. Just because they're all there doesn't mean you have to watch them all in one day.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's like, why not?
And I still do this because, well, this is also a streaming platform. So Crunchyroll is an anime streaming platform. They subtitle anime that was released, and it gets released like the same day pretty much as it is in Japan.
Yep.
With subtitles. But those episodes, if you're caught up with the series, is every week.
Right.
They don't release full shows because it releases the same time as Japan. So it's basically like watching live TV, just in a different country.
Yeah, different light.
Yeah. So I do still get get that same feeling of like, oh man, I can't wait for tomorrow. The new episode's releasing at this time, and I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna have my drink and my snack right here, and I'm gonna make sure that that there's no distractions or anything, so I can watch this episode. So I do still understand that aspect of it, but at the same time, it's like, say I'm going to look for a new show on Hulu or Netflix or Crunchyroll or whatever. I'm like, I kind of don't want to watch a series that's still in progress. I want to find something that's finished and then just binge the whole thing.
Right.
Like Rick and Morty. I just recently rewatched that, and I watched all 3 seasons within probably 2 weeks or something like that. And obviously you can't do that in live TV.
No.
You wait every week for it.
It almost creates like a desensitizes us from, just because it's like we have so much media at our fingertips now that it's just like we can overconsume, and we don't even, it's almost like an addiction. Like we don't even realize that we're doing it because it's like so natural and normal for us now. We're just more and more. And it's like, it's gotten bad to where it's like, you don't give movies, TV series, music, and all kinds of different genres, different forms of entertainment or media, any type of a chance, because it's like there's so much. It's just like by the time you get to this one, you already missed 4,000, 20,000, whatever songs, movies or whatever, because you just glanced over because there's so much coming out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like word of mouth how you find out about this, but even then it's like I think it's kind of gotten overly saturated where it's like I do like that where at least you get a little here, a little there, a little there, a little here.
When I go watch a movie, when I'm like, hey, roommate, I want to go see a movie, and they're like, okay, what movie do you want to go see? And I'm like, all right, well, there's 5 choices here, and they're each 2 hours long.
Yeah,
because they all got released on on the same weekend, and they all sound good, but obviously I'm not going to spend $10 on a ticket for every single movie, so I gotta pick and choose which one.
Right.
And then I usually go with the majority vote, or I look at the reviews for Rotten Tomato or
Metacritic.
Yeah, just reviews like that have seen the movie already. I'd be like, oh, that one's pretty good, and it seems like most people are watching this one over the other one, so I'll go see this one. And then I miss out on those ones.
True.
On the ones before it.
And unless you're one of those hardcore movie fanatics who, or music fanatics who sit there and listen to every single thing.
So I do think modern day streaming services are taking over. A lot of I don't watch live TV hardly ever, except for sports games.
Right.
And that's literally it.
And they even announced on Hulu, if you have Hulu Live TV, it's covering all of the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
We got your sports covered.
It's
exactly.
There. And you can rewind and all that stuff too.
Yeah. Yep. So it's becoming increasingly hard for those mainstream TV services to
really compete.
Yeah, really compete.
Yeah.
Right. I think that market's just changing.
It is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was media.
Streaming services.
Streaming services and media. Would you gentlemen like to use your 5?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, yeah, same here. All right, so then let's continue. That was Alex Busta. So now we're on to the final topic, which episode 11, Journey.
Episode 11.
Episode 11. Thank you guys so much for joining with us.
Yes, yes.
So the final topic I want to bring up with you guys is, ready for this?
Yes.
Pornography or pornos.
But we just talked about sex last week.
I know. That's kind of like I was going to say. I know we kind of touched on it, but we didn't touch on specifically pornography and stuff like that. And we'll get into that. So, ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes begins now. And the reason why I bring it up is because of the internet and social media and all that, we have such an abundance of sexuality just constantly there. Like right now, you can just, I want to look up some pornography, so a porno because, I'm getting intimate with a female, or, you're just in a mood and you want to look at some porno, or something like that. And you don't even have to do the original pornos like back in the day when you would find your dad or your uncle's secret stash where it was just like a videotape and you pop it in and it's like a whole sequence of scenes.
Or, Playboy magazines.
Yeah, Playboy magazines, or it's one of those where you have to wait until you find that one, like, oh, now they're having sex or sexual intercourse. Now it's just like a guy has sex with a woman and boom, thousands and thousands of ones where it's just straight raw sex and people are messing around. Like, how do you guys feel about that? And what do you guys think about that? It's a great time. It's a great time, huh, Jared?
I ain't got no issues with it. Like, we talked
well, see,
about
that's what I mean. Like, you're kind of desensitized to it because it's so there.
Well, and that's I guess the biggest bummer behind it, because I mean, obviously, if it's a thing that you're looking, if you're looking for anything, it's nice to be able to find it in a lot of different places, or to find it in abundance. And I'm sure pornography is no different. If you're looking for some porn, it's nice that you don't have to go to the one specific place to find some porn.
The creepy perverted area, it's just. And it's there. Everyone has it.
On the flip side, though, the problem with it being so accessible and so abundant nowadays is that, in my opinion, pornography is not sex. Pornography is not real sex.
No, I agree with that.
Even the porn stars meet like that day.
Right.
Like literally, they'll meet each other for the first time that day. Mm-hmm. There's no intimacy.
Exactly.
It's a job.
What's a job?
Exactly.
It's literally a job. They're hired by a company or by a website, which is a company.
Or a person.
To make this video that will be posted with,
the intention that's going to,
make some kind of revenue.
Yeah.
It's a job.
Right. And I think the problem is a lot of people, because, a big issue nowadays is that it's super accessible to kids.
Very much so,
yes. Super accessible to kids who, like we talked about in the last episode last week, maybe have not been able to ask their parents those questions about sex. They haven't been able to get
context.
The right information.
Yes.
And now this is where they're getting their information by clicking on a video and like, oh, man, so... like I've seen it in like 3 movies. Apparently ladies like getting slapped on the face and having their head shoved into the bed. I mean, I've seen it on 3 different videos. That must be right. Well, you don't have any prior knowledge to refute that, so you grow up with this really effed up sense of how to treat women, how to treat an other when you're in that sexual, supposed to be intimate situation.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I'm kind of hot on this one because this, I think, screws up more kids than bad music lyrics and video games and this and that combined.
Yeah.
Because it's such an important part of life. Again, we're humans. We're an organism. We're here to reproduce.
Yeah.
But people get such a colored or bad, just
like misconstrued,
wildly incorrect viewpoint of how it's supposed to be from seeing these things when they're young. And now the worst part is they've gotten this information. Now they don't feel like they need to talk to their parents to get that information because they feel like they have it, and
they know everything now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a a huge thing. I wish that there was something that could be done better to kind of safeguard youth. And I think safeguard is the right word, because they might think that they want to see that stuff, 12, 11.
Especially when you get that. When you get that one kid who's just like, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, my older brother, he was watching and I watched it with him. Really? How do I find that? Well, just go on your phone and type in blah blah blah, and then now you find this, and then without the proper context, that kid's gonna be like, oh my God, is that what you do with girls? Like, oh my God, or the flip side, a female, might not understand it and be like, oh my God, is that what men are gonna do to me? And then get like freaked out, like, oh my God,
or is this what all men want?
Exactly.
Or is this what all ladies want?
The problem is that kids don't have that mental capacity to disassociate those two, disassociate porn from sex.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's two completely different things. Like,
because it's
I've been in both situations.
Yeah, well, because it's like
it's not anywhere close to the same thing.
No, exactly.
Right. Not even a little bit. They're acting. They're making sounds, faces, expressions, body language, like all of it is, or I shouldn't say all of it, because I guess we don't know how the person's feeling, but True. Most of it is probably overplayed, exaggerated. Yeah. So when, like, let's say you're a little kid and then you grow up and this is the only idea of sex that you have is just from watching porn, and then you go and you're trying to do this stuff and you're not getting the reaction that you think you should be getting out of
because you don't understand
the girl or the guy or the
whomever.
Whomever. If you're not getting that like reaction that you saw in the video, you're like, well, am I doing something wrong? Then you feel like lesser about yourself, and it's a very slippery slope. It's a very
no pun intended.
Yeah, it's a very slippery slope to go down, just because it could really mess you up for a long time.
Well, and
exactly.
You consider sex. It is physically, it is one of the best things. One of the
it's pretty good.
It's one of the most important things that you can give to somebody who you love in that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the most important experiences that you can share. And when you look at pornography, it's so
dry and
impersonal.
Yeah.
You don't see, you don't see anybody having any particular care for the other person, as long as both of those people are getting their jobs done.
Exactly.
And everything's going smoothly in that front. They don't care if they're painting a realistic portrait of what intimacy should look like, because they're pardon me my language, they're not trying to show sex, they're showing fucking.
Yeah.
And sorry, but it's important. I won't use that word on this show unless it's important to make an actual statement or show an actual difference, and in that I do think it's useful.
Absolutely. There's a very big difference in those two, and I think sex has become sort of a, I don't know, like a lot of guys just want it because they feel like they need it.
Yeah, almost like
it's like
it's the ability to say that I've had it.
Yeah, it's like, people get bullied in school for, like, oh man, you're still a virgin at 19 or 20 or 21 or something like that. And it's like, yeah, well, what's the big deal? Or like, guys will try and hook up with the girl on like the first date or something like that. Or they just
and then you might miss out on finding out that that's an incredible person that you dismissed, and then later on you're like, oh my God, I was really stupid of me.
And it's
hopefully
they lose sight of like what's important, and it's like
exactly
that having sex with somebody is a very big thing.
Yeah,
especially with the person that, like, say you want to marry or you want to be with for the rest of your life. Like, that first time is you know, I don't want to say like life changing, but like
no,
but it really is in a lot of ways.
It's you could call it spiritual, I guess. It's you getting to finally bond with this person who you care a hell of a lot about.
Yeah.
And you're getting to do this thing with them that you haven't been able to do with each other before.
And you're right, because then there's a lot of people who create this concept of thought where it's like, all right, so, you know, for guys, it's, all right, so I just got to have sex with all these different girls, and now I'm like the cool guy. I accomplished this. Look, I had sex with her, you know, etc. Well, that's it. Gentlemen, would you like to use your 5 to continue, or?
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out my 5.
5.
Oh, Alex throwing out his 5.
Alex Busta. All right, 5 minutes continues.
Please continue, Eli.
That it becomes like that because it's like that desensitization. You get desensitized to it, where, like, especially guys, where it's like it's this raw thing, and then you finally experience it, and it's like, oh, this feels good, but you're like, then that mind state of like, I just need to keep conquering and keep going, because it's like this is the perception you found about it. It felt good when you finally did it, and it's like, oh, this is what it is. It's just about pleasure, but it's not about the other side of it. And then that's creates a real ugly cycle where you have males and females who are like, I hate people because they're just trying to use me for sex, or they're trying to use me for this. And then you find out their first interaction of how they found out about this was because, you know, this person was shown this and this person was shown that, or they got the wrong information from the wrong people, you know, kind of like pornography. Not to say that is their job, because it's not. But
not at all.
But in the wrong context, you're going to think whatever you think is because you're a young kid. So you're not going to know any better.
Yeah.
Right. And it another really horrible thing that pornography does is it just changes the ideas of or it shapes, I guess would be more the right term. It shapes the concept of what normal regular sex should look like.
True.
Yeah.
Jumping across the room, flying, doing a Superman, you know.
Well, again, and you go back to the stuff that I'm not a fan of. They used to slap in the face, they tug on the head, like. So much of this stuff is let's face it, I mean, it pushes towards violence at points.
Yeah.
But it's not seen that way because we're getting this nasty idea of what do you call a man slapping a woman with penetration? Foreplay. No, that's not correct. That's still like a guy put his hands on a woman in a way that he should never have done, except he saw this video when he was 12 years old that made him think like, oh, well, that's not taboo, that's not weird, that must just be a normal thing. Like, I'm gonna go find a lady to date, and I'm gonna date her for a long time, we're gonna fall in love, and then we're gonna finally make it to bed that night, and I'm gonna slap her. Because that's how it's supposed to work.
And granted, we get that there are some people who are into certain things that's you know.
And I'm not
just what I was about to say.
I'm not trying to step on the mores or taboos of people who have kinks, fetishes, and etc. Again, your life behind closed doors is your life behind closed doors, and if both of you are in total agreement, or all 3 or 4, or however many of you are having some fun, then that's all good.
Okay. I got a good side of pornography, though. Okay, so you are adults.
Okay.
Together
Consensual.
for a while.
Yeah.
And let's say, like, dude was, like, watching porn or something, you know, and the girl's, like, cool with it, you know. Like, some girls are not cool with their guy watching porn.
Yeah.
But the girl was cool with it. And he was like, hey, yo, I saw this in this video. Like, do you want to try it, you know? Like, that can really, like, take the experience to the next level. Or you can find things out about the other person, you know, like let's say, oh, they actually, like, some girls, you know, like getting their hair pulled when they're having sex. And let's say they didn't try it before, and the dude was like, hey, do you want to, like, try this? And she was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Let's give it a shot.
And then they did, and she was like, oh, man, that was awesome, you know? And I'm not talking, like, you're ripping chunks out or something.
Yeah, exactly. You just
right.
But you're not trying to give her a haircut or nothing like that.
Yeah, or yeah.
But like, it can be a very good research area for things that are a little more like taboo,
risque.
That's true.
Yeah,
but you have to be a mature adult,
responsible
in an open relationship that can communicate very well, and let's say
and not expect anything.
Yeah, right.
And you also have to be like, let's see, you can't like how was I gonna word this? Give me like 2 seconds here. You can't try something and then you can't try something and then not have them tell you like, hey, I don't like that, like that, like you have to be, or let's say like the girl's trying something on you, and like you're like, hey, I don't like that. You have to be like
consensual,
confident about it, and be like, hey, I don't like that. You have to open line of communication.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything comes down to communication. I swear to God, like we've had at least like 10 topics where we finished off where we're like,
communication's key.
Communication is key.
Yes.
Safe words probably don't hurt either.
No.
Safe word is Betty White.
Betty White?
Betty White.
Betty White. Shout out to Betty White.
No.
No. If you want to be on the show, we can have you.
We'd appreciate that.
But that's it's absolutely true. Comes down to communication.
It all comes down to communication.
All right, so 5 or
no?
I'm good. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that concludes episode 11.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for actually being here in the house with us and being with us, talking with us. And how do you guys feel about it? I know the way men feel about sexual themes, especially pornography, is different than how females feel. So we would love to hear how you guys feel about that, and or if you do enjoy all that stuff, not we're not trying to get in your private life, but I mean in a sense of like, this is why you felt this way for these particular reasons. So with that being said, all our social media stuff is in the comment or going to be down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and that actually concludes episode 11.
I know we finally got a 5-minute out of
Alex over here.
Alex Busta over there.
Just get good stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
that's true.
And
we do come up with pretty good topics.
Pretty good, yeah. So with that being said, guys, we really appreciate you guys being here in the house, hanging out with us. We would love to keep talking to you guys. And with that, we'll see you guys on episode 12.
Yeah, next week. We'll see you guys.
Back on the couch.
Right back on the couches. All right, see you guys later. Peace.
Peace, guys.